The Podical sound.
Podcast, you can't win. Talking a good game, you can't win. Topics never lame, you can't win. Win.
Watch your average Joseph. Marvelous.
It's ridiculously funny.
Welcome back to the best no judgment zone space in the world, because neither one of us have any law degrees. I am Saint Sofa King Marvelous.
I don't know why he keeps putting the Saint in front of the Marvelous. This just doesn't make sense to me.
How do you know? How do you know I'm not a saint?
Because every time you come here, the horns pop out and the tail grows.
No, but I don't lie. And since I don't lie,
Yeah.
you don't see no Pinocchio erectile coming through the pants.
Yeah.
Because I keep it real.
A lot of politicians don't lie.
But Monica Lewinsky, he didn't lie down.
Not your average Joseph. We are the Podical Sons.
Let's start the show.
Well, we can't start the show just yet. We got a guest. We got to introduce our guest.
Yes. We have the one, the only, Lucky.
Oh.
Preach on the people. So welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, we're going to have a few discussions and stuff, whatever, with Lucky, especially pertaining to in his world of expertise on some things. We're going to get to that. But yes, like, comment, subscribe, YouTube peoples.
YouTube.
Welcome. You can see me in my shiny ass forehead. You can see Lucky in his penis shirt and his broke back hat. And to the people who are listening to this, they probably want to say, what the fuck? And see it. So they might go over to the YouTube to go look at it and everything.
Right.
Google Play, Apple Podcasts, everywhere. We welcome you to the
All
people that
good
are new.
stuff. Shout out
Welcome.
to Bermuda. We're charting out in Bermuda.
Yeah, shout out to Bermuda.
So
We're shouting
thank you.
out there. Most definitely. We appreciate the love and the support, and we hope that we don't disappoint you. I don't. He disappoints a lot of people most of the time. So, that's how it works, folks.
I try to keep a reality check to
Shut your
everything.
reality check ass up over there.
It is what it is.
Anywho, yes, to the folks at home, you're new, welcome. To the ones that are regular deglers, have a seat. We missed you. And we can get into it and stuff. So let's talk about our guests here. Tell the people about yourself.
Oh, well. I've known Marvelous here for about 8 years now, is
Yes,
it, roughly?
yes, sir.
I would say, yeah.
8 pushing 9.
Wow. Far too long. And I just want to mention that he's always been this way.
Yeah.
And Smooth would know. You've known him longer than I have.
Yeah.
I met him at work.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was new. And my best friend got me the job there. And she told me that, it's not like your last job. You can't be too open. You just be a little more conservative. Blah, 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 this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, okay, whatever. I'm young. I'm just going to be quiet, And I have what they call resting bitch face. And I own that. And I understand that. But I was also new and shy. And, I just wanted to not fuck up the job so I wouldn't get fired after my probation.
Right.
And
That's kind of key. Yeah, you kind of want to keep on to the job.
Exactly, right?
You're
so
there for
one
the
day
money.
I was busy doing something, and this one comes up from behind me, and he goes, yo, Luke. And I turned around, and I looked at him, and I couldn't remember his name for the life of me, because there was how many people in that place? I was like, oh, fuck, I don't know his name. And I just said, yes. And he goes, y'all gay, right? And I didn't know where this was going to go. I didn't know if he was going to be like, see you at the parking lot, going to fight you, or maybe just slipping my number underneath. I didn't know what was going to happen
you don't know what angle
So I'm
coming
like,
with.
I was like, yes. And he goes, and Christina's my best friend with the job there. He goes, and Christina's a lesbian, right? I'm like, yes. And he goes, and y'all live together? I'm like, yeah. He goes, how's that working out for you? I said, oh, just fine. He goes, okay, because, I guess it really wouldn't work because you're both gay, but I'm trying to find 2 straight men and women that live together and it doesn't screw them over. They get in a huge fight and then someone moves out. And I stopped and I said, I do know someone actually, a straight girl, a guy who live together, and they've been together for about 4 months and they're not dating and everything's great. And
Wow.
4 months.
Wow.
And
White for it.
Okay. There's more to it. There's more to it.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, awesome. Amazing. Blah, blah, blah. So he walks away, and as he walked away, I heard someone go, yo, Marv! And I said, oh, his name's Marv. Perfect. So about a month later, I go up to him one day, I'm like, yo, Marv! And he goes, yeah, what's
What
up?
up,
I said, so you curse those people. He goes, why? I said, because they've
They
apparently
fucked.
slept together and now they're nixed and they won't talk to each other and it's this big rift. I said, you
How did
curse
I
them.
jinx that? We knew it was gonna happen though. Didn't you not know it? Smooth, you knew this shit was gonna happen. You knew it was gonna happen. You were fed the story. You already knew they were gonna fuck soon.
But they could have made a blossoming, beautiful relationship.
They could have, because they didn't have to go that way,
I said,
Marv.
You curse them, you jinx them. I don't know what you did, but you ruined them. So this guy's always been asking wacky questions for as long as I known him, probably even longer.
Thank you.
And he was the first person besides my friend to make me feel comfortable and welcomed in this place and just like genuine person towards me. And we've been friends ever since.
That's
friends ever
cool.
since,
That's
man.
cool, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Today we're gonna have a nice little switch up on the ones and twos. I just want to say you are officially the first non-black guest,
First
aka
non-black guest.
first
Yes.
white guest
Yes.
on this show.
Yes.
It took him to 140 episodes.
Me,
He brought
147.
zero Caucasians.
41.
Everybody knows I'm the
Alright.
technical guy, and Marv takes care of everything else.
You see this shit? You see,
So-
this is the bullshit. This is the bullshit. This guy, this
while Marv is
politician
over
over
there
here.
pointing fingers,
This politician over
he
here.
forgets to point one back all the time.
Yeah. You.
Anyway,
I mean, we're gonna this will be
well. I mean,
I
let's
feel
not
very
stop.
honored.
bless your heart.
Let's not just stop there. Because he's not just the first non-black host we have,
Yes.
but he's the first non-heterosexual host
Yes.
that we've had. So it's a twofer. This show is a twofer right
It's
now.
a
This is a
twofer.
twofer show right now.
It's a twofer.
We're 2 for 2.
So yeah, man, we're gonna talk about, the community, the black, the white world, dicks, rainbow community. Man came with his penis shirt today.
He made sure in full effect that you knew, that you knew
You knew.
where he was coming from, where he was coming
You.
to.
Well played. And I know you like him a little older, a little seasoned and stuff like that, whatever. You like him burly type.
Yeah, the burly type?
Yeah, this one over there. The salt and pepper.
Little salt and pepper
Oh,
magic.
now they're little grays. After you were sitting on my shining silvers.
I don't know if Smooth's really burly though.
No,
To be
he's
burly, he needs a little more meat on
Yeah,
his
I'm not really the burly type,
He's
but
a tiny little guy.
So he's more like a birdie.
The salt and peppers.
So you're not burly, you're a
Maybe
birdie.
more of a
I'm burly.
daddy status.
A daddy,
Daddy,
status.
Daddy.
So wait, what's a daddy status?
Daddy status, an older gentleman.
Okay.
You know, he's established in life.
Yeah.
He has a home. You have a vehicle.
Check.
You know where you are in the world.
Check.
Where you want to continue to go in the world.
Check.
Right? You are an actual dad. There's a bonus there.
Win-win.
You know.
So
you can take care of a younger man.
That I could.
That you could.
So what kind
You
of
have the money. Every
so what
dinner's
about
on
me?
You.
every dinner? Oh yeah. I don't want to be no fucking
You don't
daddy.
wanna be a daddy
I don't wanna be no
type.
fucking. So what kind of type am I?
You? Oh, jeez.
I fit in multiple boxes now.
Maybe. I don't want to say. Well, you're definitely not a twink because you're too old for that. Maybe a twonk.
Wait.
So
You gotta define
these
and
twink.
twonk right now.
Yeah, what the fuck is a twonk?
You can't just
broke it away.
You can't just throw those out.
Right now?
Let's go in.
Okay.
Let's go in.
So a twink is generally a younger gay boy who is like very hairless and kind of stupid, kind of really
Okay.
tiny, no meat on their bones, just superficial, artificial type. And a twonk is a bit more meat on the bones, a bit more muscular, still pretty hairless. They got a little more intellect to them, but they're still kind of hollowed out, I guess you could say. Also be a little older than a twink. A twink's generally in early 20s.
Right.
A twonk, we're moving into later to 30s now.
Gotcha.
So far we got daddy, twink, and twonk defined. Where does Marv fall in?
I would have to say twonk, for lack of a better term, because these are pretty rigid terms with not the best leeway for everything else.
Okay. And then so you're a daddy and a twonk. Daddy twonk? Twonk daddy? Twonk daddy. Twonk daddy. Twonk daddy. Yo. We are the twonk daddies.
Yeah.
Yo. Okay.
All right.
All right. well, let's touch on one poll and stuff, whatever. Not yours. Keep yours in your pants. But
I will try.
we did a poll and stuff early in the week. Do you need romance to make a relationship work? 57% said yes. Are you in agreement with that?
I don't think so necessarily, because they say that, love, the older you get, it changes, right? And generally, when you're with someone for so long, when you get, say you've been together for like 50 years, it's more of almost a companionship, but you still have that deep love for the person. You just lost that romance part of it, right? But that's just, you still have that strong connection and that love. It just doesn't have that, I guess, sexual spark.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
How about you?
I said no, because typically when you think of marriage, I mean, just now that whole love and romance part has been added to the equation. But I mean, from dawn of time, it's always been some sort of arrangement thing. Somebody's family's trying to get ahead, so they marry off their daughter to some rich ass son, and some rich ass son gets married to some princess of hell of a daughter, and now both families are in both good standings. They don't really care if they love each other or not.
Pretty much.
But it's an arrangement that has been made. So I want to say it's only been a recent time. And even with it being a recent time, we still find that people marry for status more than anything else, I would think.
That's a big fact. I said no too, because I look at it, well, you guys went super deep in it. I just looked at it as that after the honeymoon phase of a new relationship, I feel like it gets to a point where all that fun stuff will kind of, I want to say not vanish, but it'll dissipate and reality will come in.
So it's like you worked out the kinks.
Yeah. So now the reality came in and stuff like, okay, when we were dating, we weren't living together. We were separate. So anytime we see each other, we're fucking. And if now we're living together and stuff, the novelty would be we're going to be going at it like as rabbits. And then now when you're living together, day-to-day work shit and everything like the 2-year mark, you're like, meh. I'm glad you're alive. Yeah. I made it home safe, because I always feel like those couples in the beginning.
At the 2-year mark?
But that's what, reality kicks in heavy for me.
Damn, that's early.
So how long is your honeymoon phase?
Not just the honeymoon phase, but to be like the meh phase. Like, I thought that was after at least a decade.
I always look at like seasoned couples. I always look at seasoned couples like this. In the beginning, they can't wait to sleep next to each other. And then let's say the 2 to 3 mark after living together, be like, yo, your knee was all on my side of the goddamn bed. You know that.
Boundaries have been set.
Boundaries have been set. Be like, yo, are you okay? You had a nightmare. Why was your leg all on my side?
And you buy a king size bed.
No further questions. Okay, we'll leave it at that. That's true. Get your money up. That's it.
That's when you need a daddy.
That's when you need a daddy. That's when you need a daddy.
Yeah.
Hey. Okay. Let me ask you: are there any specific pronouns to use, like for everybody and everything?
Yes, there is.
I know we're coming into a world, especially it's implemented so heavy in work now. Especially, you'll see a lot of pronouns for everybody. But I didn't want to choose a pronoun. Do we have to use pronouns? Do we not have to use pronouns? Do you prefer to use pronouns for yourself?
I would say it's important, and we should, because everyone identifies as something different, right? Oh, sorry. Am I too far?
It's okay. We bring it close to you.
So I for example, I identify as he, him, as I assure you do, and Smooth does.
You can't speak for my gender. I'm a bobcat today.
You're a bobcat today?
So my pronouns are grr and rare.
I think he's always been a bobcat. He's just been hiding.
Well, pardon me.
I'm an open bobcat today, bitches.
Well, we have a bobcat. We have somebody who goes by Gurrar. What do you prefer, Smooth?
I like him. And
then we got 2 he, hims.
Okay.
I think it's important because then you know where people stand, and there's a lot of people who are non-binary these days, transgender.
Right, that's right.
It's good to know if some people like non-binary. I don't want to be known as a he or a she. I just want to be them, they, because I want to stand outside of the gender norms, right? So I think it's a very important thing, and I think it's good to know, and I think it's good when, especially in a company setting, like you had said, when they some of my friends told me when they started new companies, they would give them a sheet saying, what's your preferred pronoun?
Really?
And then they also had an other section if they had something that, say, wasn't on there.
This is new, right? I'm assuming?
I'm assuming.
And
I mean,
how
I never
recent
did
was this that you heard?
Geez, month ago?
Really interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like something that would probably just be only implemented like within a few months, because I mean, just this whole dance of being mindful of how you address people. It's just I would say
less than 4 years.
I wouldn't even say even less than that.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say even less than that. I mean, we've always been mindful of, pronouns and other people's feelings in regards to how they want to be addressed. But I don't think it's really been like,
It hasn't been brought into the mainstream.
Yeah, like
until
a
the past
mainstream
few
thing.
years, even that I've noticed.
Gotcha.
I
Yeah.
would say. I mean, I've always known of he, she. I never heard of them, they till within the past 5 years, I'd say.
And you just heard of gur and rar.
And now I'm learning gur and rar.
Gur and rar.
No, okay. No, because, help me try to understand something now. If you, bear with me, this is rookie and new to everybody. A trans boy, did it become a boy to a girl or a girl to a boy?
A trans boy.
Yeah. So
you are
so somebody's addressing, like, acknowledge, like, I'm a trans man.
Oh, then they were born female.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they've transitioned to become a man.
Okay.
Yeah, almost
Gotcha.
it sounds kind of self-explanatory, because you did that trans, and then whatever gender follows is
yeah.
probably what you were opposite
So
to
they
before.
transformed into a man.
Right. That's
And they
that's how I would
transformed
see
into
it.
one. I'm trying to clear the air.
That's how I would see it.
Okay. Cool. All right. So, should the LGBTQ community be allowed to marry in churches?
Of course. It's a building like any other. And if that's what they believe and that's where they want to be, they should have the right to do that, as anyone else should, right?
I agree to that. I agree. Because I look at it stuff as that where, see, I'm a fan of love is love. I'm a fan of love is love. We're pro-human here.
Yeah.
We say it all the time.
Pro-human.
We're pro-human and stuff. And I feel like there's tons of events where tons of people will have an event or a chance to signify their love in a relationship, right? And I feel like on this side of the world, marriage is like the utmost high. Next to, I guess, another part of the world, somebody like, if I die for you, or I kill for you, I fucking love you. But if I marry you and stuff, whatever, I took you from basic Betty to like the one.
Well, I'm looking at it as, if we're gonna say, hey, you now have the legal right to marry, who are we to confine how you choose to marry?
Exactly.
Why should we put a condition on your marriage?
Right.
Because you're a same-sex couple. Like, that doesn't make no sense. If you're allowed to marry, then you should just be allowed to do how you please. Whether that be in a church, whether that be in city hall, whether that be...
Yeah, if you're going to let us marry now, let's go wherever we want, like anyone else.
There shouldn't be any conditions on it.
Bible. The Bible.
Yeah, but then well, that's what I'm saying. If we're saying we're taking traditional man and woman, because that's the Bible, right? If we're saying, okay, no longer is going to be then traditional man and women, then we can't hold anything else to that standard.
Valid. Noted. Okay, you came to play today.
I'm here.
Daddy came to play.
Daddy
came to play.
Daddy's
came to play. Okay. So when did you first learn about the history of gay culture?
Well, what this actually is the history of gay liberation.
Ooh, not bad.
So
See, we cleaning up now.
It's 'cause-
see, now we getting squeakified because some people probably like gay culture be like, ever. Gay liberation.
gay liberation, because gay culture's been around like any other culture, right? It's like it dates back to ancient Greece, and they were more open of a civilization than we were to it, right?
Right.
But it was so underground and so hidden and rejected from mainstream society for so long, it was impossible for people to track certain events unless you were there at that time or place, right?
Right.
And there was a great movie that came out on Netflix last year. It's called Dance of the 41, and it's based in the 1800s in like high society Mexico. And these like high society Mexicans basically they have the secret like gentlemen's club.
Okay.
So they go to like drink and smoke cigars, and they just dress up in drag, and they'll have orgies and whatever. And one night they all get raided by the police, and they all get executed except one guy because he's the son of the president's daughter.
Okay.
Or sorry, the husband of the president's daughter. So we know about this because it was documented.
Right.
So we
right.
have that. But there's probably so many other situations throughout time that we'll never know about. It's just lost history, right?
Lost history.
Yeah.
Because it was so underground. So the beginning of gay liberation in America, which is kind of unofficial for here too, and like other places like some European countries that were more first world at the time, would be Stonewall riots in New York City, which happened on June 28th, 1969. And it was
So that's why the last piece of the month, that ending of the month, is so monumental and stuff to
being gay pride.
Gotcha.
So essentially there's this sleazy little bar on Christopher Street in Manhattan called the Stonewall, and it was mob run and owned, and they would basically let gay people drink there and kind of just be themselves.
Okay.
And, drag queens would go, transgender people would go, and everyone would just have a good time. And
Don't mean to cut you. Not in that time.
It was
was-
trans.
Was it the only establishment like that, or were there others? And
There
then
were-
this was just more prominent.
This was just where this happened to happen, because there were lots around New York City. Toronto had a bunch, but they're very underground places.
Right,
Like the King
right.
Eddie Hotel, down on King Street.
Yeah.
By Yonge. That used to be a place in the 40s where apparently men and women who were gay would go together as each other's beards, and the men would go in the back and have like the men would go upstairs and have sex with other men, and all the wives would stay downstairs dancing together.
So okay.
And it was like an underground gay place till it got raided by the police. So these places, they would get tipped off by people and they would get raided. So this one night, Stonewall got raided, and instead of just kind of because at the time homosexuality was a criminal offense
Right.
in Canada and America. So, people get arrested, they would go to jail, they lose their jobs, their careers, their lives, everything. So they decided to fight back. And there's a great documentary on Netflix about Marsha P. Johnson. She was a black transgendered woman of the time who threw the first brick at Stonewall at the cops. And that started a 3-night raid or riot. And that went on for 3 days until it finally dissipated. And a year later, in 1970, they held the first protest, they called it. And they have one in San Francisco, Los Angeles, and New York.
And those are the big spots for the pride parades.
Yeah, and those were the first 3 that happened. And ever since then, in America, it just got bigger and bigger, and then other cities adopted it, and it went through. But here in Canada, we didn't really have that liberation yet. The only thing that happened in 69 was they decriminalized homosexuality.
Here.
Okay.
Okay.
So they decriminalized in 1969, but nothing else happened. So what we had in the 70s...
And sorry, is that on the trail of it happening, being decriminalized in the U.S.? Was that around the same time, or did in the U.S.
The
that
U.S., I
happened
believe
earlier?
it took a little bit longer.
Oh, so it was still criminalized in the U.S.
As far as I know, I'm not exactly sure the date, but
Okay,
I believe it was
okay.
a couple years
So Canada
after
was still
that.
the gay haven then, regardless.
It was, but I mean, it still
you're
wasn't.
able to get married here before you get married in America.
Right, yeah.
Well, that
yeah.
didn't come till the 2000s, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
in the 70s, though, what happened here for Pride was on the island, they were doing what they called the gay picnic. So it was somewhere that was secluded, tucked away from the city, secluded. People could go be themselves for a day, be safe, but it was still accessible and in the city. That's why Handlands is now like the gay beach, they call it, and everyone goes
The
there.
nude beach.
Yeah, the nude beach, the gay beach. It's a great fun time.
Yeah, because dicks are swinging for y'all.
Yeah, you got Dick Show 101. So, anyways, we didn't have that. And then in 1981, they had what's called Operation Soap happened. So these were the bathhouse raids. And 4 bathhouses got raided on February 5th, 1981. And they arrested almost 300 men. And it was the largest mass arrest in Canadian history up until 2015 or 16. Somewhere in Alberta had a bit more. So they arrest all these men, and and at the time, to have a bathhouse and stuff was a perfectly legal business. They were
Right.
doing it. They paid their money
Right.
to use the service
To wash
have
their
sex,
ass.
right?
Yeah.
And or watch or have sex, where they paid their money to do the service, and they were getting arrested. They trashed these bathhouses. They arrested all these men. They stole their jewelry, their wallets. They were showing up at their workplaces after, because there was no legal protection yet in jobs. Like, you could still be fired. A lot of men weren't out to their families, and they were getting disowned. So they were like further ruining their lives after this happened. So anyways, when this happened, 4,000 people gathered the next night at Young and Wellesley, and they protested and marched, saying like, no more raids, gay rights now. And it was all sorts of people, gay people, straight people, like everyone came, and they
Right.
marched all the way down to the
People are
police.
pro-human.
Exactly. They were pro-human, and they marched to the police precinct on Dundas there. And after that, our Pride, the next month, they held a Pride parade in the streets of Toronto. And then eventually, the year after that, in 1982, it was in June. And we started having our Pride parade that took to the streets. And then eventually, the village started to build up on Church Street, and they moved it to there. And then the city started to endorse it by 1991. And so we use these events as like unofficial starting points of gay culture, because we can now track everything that's happened since then.
Got it.
Easy. I am mad at that. I like that. Okay. No, because see, my thing now, Marsha, what's her name?
Marsha P. Johnson.
What kind of trans surgery or transitioning did she do? Do you know?
That I do not know.
Okay. Because I was about to say, I'm like, were you doing surgeries there? Or were we just taking supplements to get the breast going?
Was she the one? She was big on like the burlesque circuit as well. I'm thinking.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
She would just go to these, well, at the time, these sleazy bars and just like hang out and perform.
Right.
And then she became quite an activist after Stonewall.
Got it. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. I knew there was some sort of performance aspect in there.
Oh, so you heard the name before?
Yeah, I've heard the name before. I've heard the
Gotcha.
name before. It's funny that you're mentioning all these different cities in the U.S. because growing up, it's all the city that always pops up in my head as far
San Fran.
is San Fran. What's the story
Castro.
behind that? Why is that such a dominant
San
place?
Francisco, from my knowledge, it was always this hippie haven, right? It was
Okay.
always that city where people who were very free thinking, liberal thinking would go, very artsy, very like, boho vibes, right? So it always
Right,
attracted people who lived outside societal norms, right? And at the time, since being gay was outside of societal norm, it was a place to go.
Right.
And then they built up the Castro, which is their gay village, and it just took off.
De Castro.
Got
Okay.
it.
Okay. Since you're so well informed, how come you don't teach kids about gay culture, gay liberation?
Teach children.
Why not? Why not? You're well versed. You understand some dynamics. There's tons of kids that probably don't even know the culture, but they're claiming they might be. I don't even claiming. They're not too sure if they're gay, straight, or whatever because they're still trying to find themselves. But education will help anybody transition over. Period. From good to great. That's the transition I'm talking about.
Yeah, honestly, Marv, I just never thought of doing something like that because I didn't think people want to listen to me in that context, right?
Do you
listening
know
to
of,
them 'cause
do you
they're
know
just
of
like-
anybody that's doing stuff like what Marv just suggested?
Personally, no.
Right.
So, okay, when should we talk to our children about the LGBT community? Do you recommend an age, a time frame?
Kids are going to ask questions. Kids are going to be curious. And I think, for example, you're walking with your kid down the street. You see two men or two women holding hands, and they go, "What's that?" Oh, from my experience, and a lot of what I hear from other people's experiences, children, their parents will say things like, "Oh, that's nothing. Don't look. Blah blah blah. That's disgusting. Whatever."
Right.
Instead of doing that, just be like, "That's love." Just like mommy and I have, or daddy and I have, right? That's love.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And instead of making it seem like it's something so different and so it's just not part of a normal life
Yeah.
to say, right? It is, right? It's just life. They choose to love each other instead of loving another, right? Just normalize it for the child. Show them there's more beyond a hetero narrative.
Now, as everybody, I've always heard this, and then I've heard briefly about the Kinsey scale before you mentioned the Kinsey scale to me. But is everyone a little bit gay?
I like to think so. Actually, I have a story that ties into this. If you let me tell that, and then I'll explain the Kinsey scale to you.
Fire away.
So this is how I always knew from a very young age I was different, and I had different feelings. I just didn't know what they were,
Right.
or like what it meant until I got older.
And maybe that's partly why the education comes in because
well, they don't teach you anything.
right, exactly.
You don't learn
Exactly.
anything. It's all
Because we can't,
trial and error.
Like, we can't assume, let's say, every young child that might be a child, let's say every young preteen or before an adult, let's say 12 to 17, will listen to this podcast and hear that. But this information and stuff is well noted, and they should know. And they should not feel scared or,
Well,
where
they
to
just kind
turn.
of assume you're already default straight when you're a kid.
Right.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's not, and they don't, like you said, they don't teach you anything. It's all trial and error. You have to figure it out. So I knew that, like, I didn't feel like other guys, but I didn't know what it was
Right.
because I was just too young to understand any of this. And then I became a teenager and I would start to say, okay, I started to understand things a bit more and hear
Yeah.
these terms like bi, gay, lesbian. So I said, okay, I'm bisexual. And I think with a lot of my friends too, from what I know, they use that as the first stepping stone to like, to be
Right.
like, eventually they'll come out as gay. It's just like an easy way to like get there for a lot of gay people. So, and that's how I did it. So,
But did you start with a man or did you start with a woman? Like, did you start with it, like, where
having sex?
Yeah.
Or dating?
sex? Or no,
Sex?
let's say dating.
Dating.
Let's say dating first.
Like,
But I even think even before that, like just having like certain feelings.
Feelings,
towards-
but then until you can have the feelings and stuff, whatever. Like,
Right.
sometimes I feel like I want to punch you.
yeah.
But then if I act on my feelings and stuff, that's a different thing. Like,
Right,
the thought
right.
and action are two different types
Yeah.
of things. So
but
if
you
you
might
say,
still want to punch me.
Yeah.
even without acting on it.
true, but I want to say, like, if I come to a point where, like, say, I don't know where my feelings might lie with another person and stuff, whatever, besides me.
Right.
If I'm taking the initial step to say, let's say if I do feel I'm more on the gay side, if I don't know where I'm to put myself,
Yeah.
I would probably date a woman to see if I really
If
feel
it is
exactly.
that okay.
well, that's, like first few relationships, I would even call them that, like, beginning of high school, maybe late middle school, was with women because that's what I was taught was right.
Right,
That's
right,
what I
right.
should be, and that's how it should be, and that's how it is going to be.
Right, and you
Right.
and then gay was shunned.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you have sleepovers because your mom's not going to let you sleep over with a girl. So, okay, I got my guy friend sleeping over. One thing leads to another. Oh, that feels nice. Do it again. So, so I used bi as a stepping stone for myself. And then I eventually came as gay. A lot of my friends came out 17, 18, 19, a lot earlier than I did because they had a much more positive upbringing of this and view, whereas
Right.
mine was very negative. So in my mind, my young mind, it wasn't good. It wasn't right. I shouldn't even be bi. But I was in college one day and I took a class called sexual diversity. And the teacher said, okay, everyone stand up. And she put a line across the board and she put from 0, she put 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. And she said that 0 is exclusively heterosexual, 3 is bisexual, and 6 is homosexual. And then she told us, when you were 5 years old, stand where you thought you belonged on this scale.
Right.
And so 95% of the class, and it was like class of 30 kids, goes and stands at 0.
Zero. Yeah.
A cluster of us stood at 5 with the teacher. So then she goes, okay, now everyone stand where you thought you were at 16, middle of your teens.
Right.
95% of that class don't move at
They still-
0.
they still stand at 0.
The teacher went to 6.
The teacher.
And
Interesting.
one other girl went with her to 6, and then about 4 of us were still at 3. So then she said, okay, now stand where you are at today. If you're 21, 40, because it's college, you got people of all ages. She goes,
Oh,
where
yeah.
are you today? The teacher went back to 3. Me and my friend went to 6. And the other girl was at 6 to 8, 6. And then 2 people from the 3 went to 0. And I just remember looking over at a pile of eyes just looking at me. And it was the first time in my life that I just like accepted it to myself.
Right.
And said like, no, you know, I'm a gay man. This is me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let anyone tell me otherwise. I don't care what you people think, you know, like it is what it is. So that's how
That's good.
accepted it to myself.
Well done.
So I was 21. And that involves what you asked earlier about the Kinsey scale.
Right.
Okay. So, that is the what
The
you just
Kinsey
explained.
scale.
was the
Yeah,
Kinsey
so the
scale.
Kinsey scale was created by Kinsey in 1948, and it basically was because he believed that sexuality was not as rigid as straight and gay.
Right,
It was all sorts of shades of gray in the middle.
Yeah.
So he did that. Like I said, 0 was exclusively hetero, bi was 3, and then 6 was homosexual. And actually, I've learned recently, they added a section called X, which is for asexual people, because they have no sexual preference.
Yeah.
So that Kinsey scale is to track people. So I, for example, would say that I might range more in a like 5 to 4.5 area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I had, I always thought after I came out and everything, I came into this world where it was very like militant. Okay, you're going to be gay. Well, then you're gay. That's how it is.
Right.
You're gay. You that's what you chose. This is who it is. You're going to listen to fucking Britney Spears and Madonna and go to the clubs every night. And that's that. And I ended up meeting a pre-op trans man a few years ago, and we hit it off and we had a great time and we ended up sleeping together. And pre-op trans means he basically hadn't had any surgeries yet.
Right.
Okay.
So
But they're going through the hormone therapy.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it was one of the most exciting experiences of my life. Very erotic, very fun. And I realized in that moment there was so much more about a man that I was attracted to. The penis was almost the last thing on my mind, you know? When there wasn't one, there was that the broad shoulders, the facial hair, the deep voice, the way he carried himself, his mannerisms that I found also attractive and I was also turned on by. And a dick was like the last thing on my mind. So it made me reevaluate my own sexuality and everything and look back at it and think, you know, maybe I'm not as militantly gay as I think, right?
Right.
So I like to say for people who are willing to listen and understand this, like you two fine gentlemen, I would say maybe I'm more of a 5 on the scale.
On the Kinsey scale?
Maybe 4.5.
Okay. And do you prefer masculine men then?
I used to think I did. I did when I was
Interesting.
younger. And I think for
Or
a lot
could
of
you have been when you were younger, and then over time you've just maybe kind of changed your preference?
possible. I think for myself personally, I felt, like I said before, it was so militant and I had to be a certain way and be attracted to certain men. And that meant very masculine men, very, very manly men. And in the gay community, it's almost like hyperized in a way.
Right.
Because they're men who aren't attracted to women, so they have to prove so strongly that they're men. Right? So they almost take it to an extreme.
I kind of figured.
And
I kind of figured.
I had a bunch of exes who were like super macho men, and they're a bunch of fucking douchebags. They
Got it.
They wouldn't listen to me.
Yeah.
They showed no emotion. I never knew what they wanted.
Sometimes I feel like this is a
it was
gay
like
relationship
talking to a
between him and
block
I.
of wood.
He doesn't listen to me.
Oh.
I tell him about my feelings. I told him.
Daddy doesn't listen.
Daddy
to
doesn't
this
listen.
song?
Listen to this. I
Listen.
told him. I said,
He's not as good of a twang.
Twonk.
He's not as good as a twonk as you think.
incorrect.
Oh.
I'm a banging twonk. I just don't bang yet. Now, one day, I said, yo, you need to start watching me when I get out the vehicle. He said, why? I said, you don't know, by the time you drive off, somebody might kidnap my punk ass. I'm the leader of the Mighty Midget Mafia. Anybody can snatch me up in a date rape van and just call it a day.
As a short person, I do agree.
You agree?
Now,
I do agree.
Exhibit A, aka asshole over there. Daddy's over there. We get out the car. I'm like, all right, then. Soon as the door closed, she took off. We just had this fucking discussion. Clearly you don't listen.
Daddy, you left your twunk for dead.
Thank you. Thank you.
He don't
Thank
want you to come home. He bought you too many dinners. He said, you know what? This one's costing me too much.
So you throw me back
I'll let
to
somebody
the
else take him up.
fucking guy.
To say I used to think I had to be attracted to these douchebag men.
Right.
And I think that's also, as you grow and you become older, you realize you become more well-versed in your own self, and you realize more of what you want. And I remember I met this guy. He was actually Julie Black's PR manager.
Okay.
And he was high femme, high flamboyant, but there was something about him.
Well,
and I'm
hold on. What
pretty
does high femme mean? Like
High
more
femme?
femme, like woman like?
Only bought women's clothes.
Okay.
would
He
wear
wears blouses, not shirts.
Right.
But I think it was that confidence he walked with every day that was just so attractive to me. And
He
we dated
owned
for a
it.
little bit. Oh, he owned who he
owned it.
was, and I loved it. I was
what's
living for
Right,
it, you
right.
know? So I think, and like my boyfriend now, he's not masculine. He goes around and says, oh, yeah, let's do this. Like there's not like, but he's so confident in who he is, and he knows who he is, and he's not afraid to be who he is. And it's just such an attractive quality in a person.
I tell everybody the best thing you can put on yourself to look good for any type of event is confidence.
It's confidence. Yeah. We talk about it all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people and stuff, when they lack confidence, they don't see. It's like you don't see what I see. You don't. I see greatness and you see mediocrity.
Yeah.
And that's always a problem and stuff with people because you are your own worst critic, right?
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
100%.
Okay.
It's just going back to what you said, because I've always kind of thought in my mind, if a woman who is, let's say, a lesbian took on that more masculine trait, would she become attractive to a gay man?
Jeez, I don't know. I've never personally found a more butch lesbian to be attractive, but that's just me speaking for myself.
Right.
you like him? What is it? Lipstick?
Lipstick lesbian. Look at you, Twonky.
Donkey.
You knowing your terms.
I read a lot. I do some research.
You do some
I
research.
do some research. But yeah, like the lipstick type of lesbians, the one that are more femme looking and everything like that. Do you find them attractive, or you just? I think I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like you just find beauty and greatness into people.
Exactly. Like, I can find beautiful women and attractive women and appreciate who they are. I just don't have a desire to have an emotional relationship with a woman.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's what I like to hear. Okay. Let me ask you. Your favorite month should be June.
Should it?
/ your birthday month. Now, one question and stuff is that rainbow washing always happens in the month of June. How do you feel about rainbow washing?
Rainbow washing, rainbow capitalism. I've also heard it called.
Define the term first before we.
So rainbow washing. What I've read and what I've seen is that rainbow washing is when you have a company, we'll say a bank, right? We'll say a random bank, and everything until the bank cuts the check on the podcast. I won't mention the bank, but that bank for 11 months out of the year,
Right.
they're just a regular logo. Come that month of June, they got rainbow colors coming through there.
Okay.
When the month of July comes through, I want to say the beginning of July possibly still might be there.
Right.
But like mid-July, gone. Right back to regular scheduled program.
So similar to what we experienced during Black History Month.
Yeah, correct.
Same thing. And they call
yeah.
it also rainbow capitalism, right? Because they're profiting off of putting rainbows on everything, and then none of the profits go to any kind of charitable gay anything, right?
Right.
Just into their pockets.
Yeah.
Similar to Black History Month.
Exact same thing, right? Exact same thing. So I never really noticed this before because it wasn't really a prevalent thing. I think a lot of companies weren't really doing much. I would say I really noticed it in the last decade. In 2014 we had World Pride come here, and ever since then, that's when I noticed rainbows everywhere. Because besides Church Street at Pride, when there was rainbows everywhere, I started noticing it like, oh, you go down Bloor Street, you go on Bay Street, you're on the Danforth. I know it's still very clustered to the core, but it's outside of the village. Right. And I was noticing at the beginning, I was young and I was like, oh my God, rainbows everywhere. I love it. The city's so bright. Gay pride. Yay.
So you really started to understand what it was all about.
And then I started
Have you become woke?
Hey.
Don't get me started on wokies. Okay.
Go ahead. I'm fucking with you.
With the woke. So, the rainbow capitalism. So I noticed, and I started to really think about it, like Smooth said, and I noticed that what's the point in putting up a rainbow logo for 1 month?
Right.
And you're so progressive and you're so welcoming and warming and everything. And then the rest of the month it's just nothing. Right?
Yeah.
And I noticed this year all these social media things were putting like rainbow logos on like Twitter and like Instagram, change their logos. I noticed even City News put a rainbow logo on. And it's like these companies are basically trying to do the most.
Right.
For what? Right? Like what are you trying to prove at the end of the day? Because the rest of the year you don't do anything.
Yeah.
So
I think
support
it's
gay
just kind
people
of
enough to take your money. That's what the company's basically
pretty
trying
much.
to say.
And then they come out with these pride collections like Target and Walmart and shit. And they'll come with really shitty made clothes, very generic patterns, usually just a giant rainbow or some stupid symbol. And it's like definitely made by straight people thinking that this is what we want to wear.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk around with a rainbow all day
No different from Black History
advertising
Month where the
this.
white people make the Black History stuff for black people.
Same shit.
Coolest monkey in the
right?
jungle?
Yeah.
Same shit. And it's like, I don't want to walk around in this. What makes you think I want to walk around in a giant tank that's just a huge rainbow? Like, it's just stupid. It's them trying to do the most and just profit off of us. And I just think it's enough. And it should just be your company. And that's that. I mean, why do all this in the wrong way?
Yeah, I feel like it never fails. Like it never fails like clockwork and stuff. Now, social media is, to me, I witnessed that last year during the whole pandemic, more of the heavier portion of the pandemic.
Yeah.
That everything just switched to cater to types of people. I think the last people was to trying to switch over was probably Reddit. I think after George Floyd, that's when I seen Reddit go with a black symbol for like the longest. But then when it came to like June, they never went to a rainbow symbol. So I was like, okay. So I'm like, and they went back to the regular white and orange or reddish orange.
Right.
I was like, so we don't give a fuck about black people no more. I'm just trying to understand. I was just trying to understand.
No, it's true.
That's
It's
how I
true.
felt.
They do
So
it for
I
like
was like,
that
I wonder how you guys.
snippet of time.
Yes.
And then you've just forgotten about it. It's the same kind of, like you said, after George Floyd, all this stuff was happening. And then it was like the next day, that's it.
Gone.
That's it.
It's just gone. Like when they did the squares.
Yeah.
Whereas, oh yeah,
the black square for the one day?
Yeah.
And then people were changing their profile pictures and stuff to a square. And then the next day they were back
Right.
to whatever they had before, right? I'm like,
Right.
oh, so you care about this for one day. And then that's it.
X'd off.
So it has that same kind of feel in a way. It just want to profit off us and fill their pockets, and that's that.
Let's go back to Mike Jackson. All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Mike Jacks.
Wait. Until it makes them money to care about us.
This is fact. That's why you have to hit him where it hurts.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think, is it Absolute at the time? Where I think a good portion of the gay communities and stuff were saying no to their vodka because in Russia they don't support gays. And Absolute was one of the prominent Russian vodkas at the time. This is like in the early 2000s. Like mid-early 2000 area.
Yes, because then when Drag Race started to come out, they started promoting that vodka on it. And that was in 2009, 10, 11. And that's all of a sudden became the gay vodka.
Got it.
Pockets, man. You got him where it hurts, man.
Yeah.
Hit him where it hurts. Okay, so let me ask you, what does the Q stand for in LGBTQ?
you know, it's actually not that anymore. You're very wrong.
Oh,
That's why you're here to help us.
Oh,
This is
it's
why you're here.
actually,
This is why you're here.
you
Us.
want to hear the new one?
Fire away.
It's 2SLGBTQQIA plus.
Oh, well, what's it?
They're having barbecues? There's 2 barbecues?
Oh, it's quite an alphabet soup.
You're goddamn right it is. It's hard to kind of keep up to it. Okay, so
Would you like
It's
to know
almost-
what it all
there's almost
means?
gotta be like-
fire.
Yeah, go
Would
ahead.
you
Oh,
like
wait.
to know?
Go ahead.
So, two-spirited, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, plus whatever else you want to add.
So what is two-spirited? Like you're a happy-ass person?
I believe that's for the indigenous community.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see it now.
I'm not too well versed to be speaking on that one though, because I don't know enough about it. So
No, because I was trying to figure out, I was like, it was LGBT at one time.
At one time.
but now it's an alphabet soup.
Then a Q got added on. And then I see like a plus sign in there. I was like, I don't know if I might keep up. So I'm assuming that.
It's quite a soup now.
Is it too much for you?
It's too much for me.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit, but I do know what they all mean.
What is the difference? Now, explain to me, because I have no clue what the difference between queer and gay is.
So gay is more defined for a male.
Right.
A man who's attracted to another man is the actual dictionary definition of gay.
Okay.
Queer is more someone who's more open-minded, is more well-versed to... It's almost like bisexual in a way, because they'll be more open to experimenting on these things, but at the end of the day, they will still have a homosexual relationship over a heterosexual relationship.
Got it.
Gotcha.
So it's a bit more all-encompassing.
And can both man and woman be queer? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anyone can be
Alright.
queer, yeah. And it's become quite popular because it was used for so long as a derogatory term in the gay community
Right.
that now it's almost like they want to reclaim the word, right? Make it their own. So now it's become quite a popular word to say, and a lot more people prefer to say they're queer over gay now.
Got it.
Really? I feel like that may be the bougie people, though. Because what's wrong with just saying if you're gay, you're gay?
Bougie people?
Yeah, I feel like it has to be a bougie. Like,
What ass bougie people are you talking to?
well, then the thing is, stuff is like, are you gay? Heaven's sakes, no. I'm queer.
I'm queer.
I'm queer.
Heaven's sakes, no.
Yo,
Who do you talk to?
hey, you're not my only gay friend. I know some people,
Heaven's sakes.
they talk a little bougie. So I mean, like, hey, but trust me, that I have a bougie gay friend, and I feel like a lot of times you're different where you treat everybody like everybody's across the board. Him, he's like, what are you, heterosexual? I spit on you. Like he's shaming me for being straight. I was like, I love who I love. He's like,
Maybe it's time you be shamed
Yeah,
for that.
that's-
All the shame I had to deal with growing up for feeling this way. You get one little snippet and you're oh, I'm ruined.
I need therapy now. I need fucking therapy after all that.
Oh
He's
man,
crushed.
Marv, I don't know if you would have made it being gay growing up. That one little comment threw you off.
I'd have did the MC Hammer little typewriter dance to be like from 0 to 6 on the Kinsey scale, and I went right back to be like, homo. I went right back to 0. I'm just like, no, I'm
One
good.
homo call. Okay, no.
No. It didn't feel right. It hurt. What hurt? I'm like, well, I'm not a top or bottom. What? Are you a top or are you a bottom?
You are not supposed to ask these personal questions, Marv.
Clearly, you don't know what kind of podcast you jumped on.
You're on the Podical Sons,
kid.
man.
You clearly.
I kid. So I am neither.
Neither.
I am versatile,
Okay.
which means I will both give it and take it because I can find pleasure in both.
Okay.
And there's also verse top, verse bottom, which is someone who will top and bottom.
But they have a preference
But they
between
have
the
a
two?
But they
preference
have a
to
preference.
say if they're verse bottom, they prefer to bottom, and they'll only top maybe 2 nights a week.
Okay.
kind of thing, right? So there's that.
So why don't we just classify them as just verse if they're willing to at least why they want to be specific?
Well, once again, it goes back to those just rigid terms. And
Rigid terminology.
We wanted to break out from that. So people are like, you know what? No, I will do both. But I'm going to prefer to do this. I'm going to prefer to peg you than get pegged. But if you know, you can't get it up one night or whatever, I guess I'll step up to bat.
Take one for the team, or give one for the team.
Give one.
Give one
take
for the team at that
whatever
point.
way it's working for you.
Yo, have you ever used Grindr before?
Of course I have. Oh my God, have I ever? When I actually met my current boyfriend on Grindr, but that's quite an anomaly. I mean, it's not the place you go to look for a relationship.
Rihanna said, "Find love in a hopeless place."
There you go.
Yeah, well,
Hey.
I definitely did that. So
Okay,
there you
then no
go.
further
But
questions.
Grindr, actually, when I first heard about it, I had a BlackBerry, and this was like a decade ago.
Right.
And unless you had a smartphone, you had to pay for the service. So when I got on it, I got a free trial for a week. So I said, okay, I'm going to go on it. I made myself a little profile. Within 5 minutes, I had 10 messages. Because, you know, they see a fresh face. Ooh, new meat. What's this? Blah,
yeah.
blah. Oh, I was having a blast on that. I was on that thing for a week. Like, I didn't do anything.
Yo, I feel like there's so much gay jokes to be made.
Like, I didn't even...
I was new meat. I had a blast, an orgasm. I was like, the jokes are just there.
You know, I wish I had actually met up with at least one person. I was just on the app to be on it, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
my week ended. I didn't want to pay for it. Oh, okay, so sad it went away. So a year later, I got an iPhone. First thing, I didn't even put one number in that phone. Downloaded Grindr. First thing I did, had my profile, had my 10 messages up. Oh, I was going. Oh,
You was grinding.
Oh,
You was grinding.
that.
You was grinding.
Oh, I was grinding hard. I think I saw Daddy there too.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was there all the time. That's where Tinder comes from too, eh?
Yes,
Ah.
that's what Tinder
Came
comes from.
Grindr.
And so this is
Straight people stole
my
our
theory.
gig.
My theory. No, sorry, my opinion.
Right.
Straight women ruined the fun that Tinder is supposed to be, because when the creators were just man on man,
Yeah.
their thing was to fuck. Correct.
Pretty much.
When it came to the other side, it was supposed to be
Hence
for
the term
us to
grinder.
right. And
Okay.
Tinder, it was supposed to be the same damn way.
Yeah.
For straight people.
Right.
And then women out of nowhere like, I'm just not a piece of meat. Like, you just get to know me. There's Match. There's eHarmony. Go there. Don't come on Tinder with that shit.
Yeah, go to Christian Mingle.
Christian Mingle.
It makes sense now. So the grinder operate in the same way where it showed you who was in your vicinity, like who was close
Correct.
to you.
So Grindr,
So
yeah,
it was
you'll
really
see-
basically a
You'll
hookup.
see
Yeah,
your
it was really basically a
profile,
hookup.
and then you'll see everyone else's. And if you paid the extra money, I think you could see 100 profiles, and if you paid the extra money, you could see 600 profiles. And so you know, I was on that all the time. And then I moved when I was 24. I moved down to the village. Oh my God, that thing was exploding constantly with people all over the place. I was living
You had a
on that
dick
thing.
menu.
Oh my! I never thought. I said I can just log on and get dick whenever. What is this science? Like, oh my God! This was an incredible invention to me at the time. And then, you know, as time went on, I got older. I realized I wanted a relationship, and this is definitely not the place for that.
Yeah,
and then,
yeah.
lo and behold, I ended up finding one on it because I decided one night while I was alone last year in the pandemic, oh, I'll just log on Grindr, talk to some random, and found my current. So, you know,
Found love in a hopeless place.
stranger things have happened.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the app itself has matured from what it used to be.
Oh, no. No, it's probably worse. You know what, Smooth? When I
Yeah.
first started using it, people
Yeah.
would actually get to know my name, maybe have a little conversation.
Okay.
Now it's literally like stats, host. Here's my like buzz code, or they'll just send a dick pic. Host ?
Straight to the point.
Okay.
They
Well,
don't
not straight,
they don't
but
even
to the
wanna
point.
Know your name anymore.
I'm glad to sing. We got a dad joke.
The dad joke, the dad
Oh
joke.
yes, the dad jokes.
Don't worry, I'm gonna keep a stonewall face. You won't ruin
Everyone
me.
tune into stereo. It's gonna be. Oh wait, this will come out after that, won't it?
No, but But the YouTube we'll definitely put up on the YouTube and everything.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
when you're
hope
hearing
everyone
this,
tuned in.
it's already Marv already won. So congratulations to me.
I don't
Appreciate
know.
that.
Marv's
Look
living a
at
dream.
Daddy over here.
I'm daddy. I'm daddy. You seem to
daddy.
forgot. You seem to forgot already.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
twonk.
You're just
I'm
twonk.
acting all twonky over here. Yo, let me ask you now. Since we're on sex, does sex hurt for gay men?
For who, the top or the bottom?
Let's go both.
Well, if you don't use lube, it's gonna hurt like a motherfucker, and I learned that in my wayward youth the hard way.
Oh, the wayward youth.
Oh, back in the day. So generally for a top, no. But for a bottom, if you're inexperienced and starting, it could be very uncomfortable. But that's why foreplay, as we all know, is very necessary, right?
Right.
So it's just like with a woman, you got to get her revved up, got to get the water flowing out of it.
Yeah, the water
Whatever,
flowing out of
you
it.
need some,
Clearly, women aren't your forte. Look at the water flowing out of it.
Well, I don't remember the terms, you know. So
Get her wet.
yeah, get her wet, right? You got to do
yeah.
foreplay, get things revved up. So you got to use lots of lube, very important. Use your lube, condoms if you're not in a committed relationship. You know, and lots of foreplay. Stick a couple fingers in there first, because whether you like it or not, Marv, the G spot is up your ass.
Tip of my penis.
No, it's up your ass.
Tip of my penis.
And I've had orgasms you can't even fathom having.
Tip of my penis.
To be a penis.
Because I'm circumcised.
Which also kills the sensitivity in your penis. So me as an uncircumcised man, I've also just alone with that I've had orgasms.
You're
you
saying,
can't
so what you're
imagine.
saying and stuff is that circumcised men are not minute men. Because the sensation is not there for them to come fast.
I don't think that's
I
what he's
did
saying at all.
not say that at all.
I think
What
you're
I
just trying
said
to
was
boost your
I can
stats
have an
for
orgasm
no
that
reason.
you could only imagine having.
My orgasms are popping.
What's your orgasm?
Angel-
Explain it.
Angels cry, and when the drop falls down from the sky, it creates a field of diamonds. And you're just walking through them, and it feels like cotton. That's what happens when Marv orgasms.
I don't know. I think if you're walking through a field of diamonds, it feel like you're cutting up your foot.
No.
This is also
Mediocre orgasms. You don't have the Marv orgasms.
you are a circumcised man, so that is a clear lie. Clear lie. When I orgasm with all that beautiful foreskin, keeping all that sensitivity there, it's like mountains crumble, earth shatter, angels sing, hailfires open up. You can't imagine. And then you add in the
Yeah, that sounds
prostate
about
in
right.
that. You add in the G
Yo,
spot.
sounds about
organic dick ass up over there.
Smooth gets me. Daddy gets me.
That sounds about right.
And then if you want to add in a little bit of prostate pleasure, oh my God.
Different party.
Your legs will shake.
Shit. Well, I have those orgasms when my legs shake. After I bust, I have the little,
What is this?
That's my orgasm shake. That's my orgasm shake. When don't touch me. I'm sensitive. I don't like
Just one leg?
I was about to say, Marv, I got a 2-leg over here.
Point for daddy. Two's always better than one.
There you go.
No, too much of something is bad for you.
Not the orgasm.
Not the orgasm.
Not the orgasm. Never the orgasm.
Never the O.
The skin. Love the skin you're in. Mine's left at the hospital, wherever it is.
Actually, yours might be part of some form of experiment at this point.
No, you know,
Yeah.
you know. At one point, somebody told me, so I don't know if it's true though. Somebody was shooting the shit, but I was like, yo, they're like the foreskin they use for like other parts of the body in case they have to do surgery on somebody. So I'm like, so I said, could you imagine a white guy who was burnt in like a car accident and there's a whole bunch of black foreskins to be used and
It's like-
everything?
like-
And so can you really tell that man he's trying
There's
to
a
put
little
on
floppy
blackface
bit
and
on
everything
one
like that? Because
part.
now he has this black foreskin
Right.
on his body. You gonna tell me he's not black?
Could you imagine the doctor like flipping through the pages of foreskin to find which one matches?
To tell me like,
Tones, yeah.
treat like it's a fucking Home Depot trip for paint. Like,
He's looking, he's like, well, your tone is barely beige. We've run out of that. So
You might have to wait.
you get whatever we give you.
you might have to
You
wait.
might have to wait.
My fucking arm was destroyed in the fire.
Come back
You
in
have to
about a
wait.
year or so. We might.
1 year
we
from
might,
now,
we might have you.
we'll skin graft you the fuck
might
up.
have you.
Until then, you have to wait. Yo, I know you said you've been with a woman before, but your preferences, right? Now, pertain to people and stuff that might be, I guess, quote unquote, queer or claim the title as queer, right? Do I'm gonna say, do you think with you being with a woman and everything like that, shouldn't you be considered queer or bisexual in any case because you've been with a woman? And like there's some other gay men and there's lesbian women that's never been with neither. Like the opposite sex.
Gold stars, they call them.
Gold stars.
Gold stars, yes.
Explain the gold star thing now.
That's just someone who's never slept with the opposite gender. Because, right, you got that gold star.
On the refrigerator?
You did it. Or you never did it. So you get that star. I wouldn't consider myself because this was more like experiments I did in my youth, right?
Right.
When I slept with women, and it was more of like just seeing what I liked or me thinking I had to do this. And like I said before, I didn't want that. I have no desire to have an emotional relationship with a woman.
Right.
So I don't really want to call myself bi when I don't have that desire to ever date a woman, marry a woman, be with a woman like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Is Pride Month still necessary here?
Here, I think it is. Yes, I think it is anywhere, but I think here specifically in Canada, because gays and lesbians basically have been very integrated into society. We have legal protection under things.
Absolutely.
We now have marriage equality,
Yeah.
which was the big fight in my generation, I guess you could say. But we got marriage equality in Canada in 2003. I was 14 years old. So my whole adult life, I've been able to marry.
Right, because by the time you came out, you were 21, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So you were already good to go.
So I've had all the same rights and everything. So I think now it's more necessary for transgendered people, non-binary people, things that people that
Gotcha.
society is not as understanding of yet as they are for just
Gays and lesbians.
gays and
Okay.
lesbians.
Okay.
Because I think that's almost in a lot of societies when they start to finally understand or accept gay rights in any capacity. It always starts with just what they can understand the easiest, right? So if it's not going to be a man and woman, it could be a man and a man, or a woman and a man, or a woman and a woman. So it's the easiest thing for society to grasp onto, and then they can, keep progressing from there.
For the simple fact that rainbow washing happens during the month period. I mean, with Marvin, our argument is always that Black history shouldn't be a month. It should be something that's taught throughout the year. So that way you get rid of that whole type of black washing.
History, yeah.
Would you kind of think of it like the same sort of lines when Marv says like maybe possibly do away with the month in itself and then say, okay, you know what? Let's educate people throughout the entire year. Why are we just regulating?
Because it's an integration thing. With it. I feel
think-
like, not to cut you, but I feel like there's countries where gay people are still killed, persecuted, and everything. Those places, yes.
Oh,
I feel like
100%.
I feel like Pride Month should be essential for them. These people need to know. They need to know that if it's possible for them, if they can leave where they are, come to this side of the world where we're already integrated and stuff, and live your truth up, own your truth, right? But I feel like here it's been integrated and stuff for so long. But then again, when you said it though, it corrected me because you said for the trans people,
right?
So for the trans people, it's something brand new to them. I want to say to the non-binary, excuse me, same thing. So it's kind of like, okay, we have established the LGBT portion. Now we need to establish the other people, and they're attached to, you said alphabet soup?
Yeah, the alphabet soup.
they're attached now. So like we as Alphabet Committee or Alphabet Soup, we want to attach these people to let you know, like, hey, don't fuck with them. They're with us.
Yeah, yeah.
So I get that now. See, before I was looking, I'm like, I was like, it's common to see a gay couple, like even in grocery stores or convenience stores, and we know they're gay and that's their lifestyle. Why do you feel the need to like go extra hard or unique? But I get it now.
It's yeah, for that. And then also to what Spoo was saying about the being 1 month, you're integrated all over the year. Exactly. They don't teach you this in school, right? Same with Black History. They don't teach any of this to the kids. They don't teach them gay anything. And sex ed, they don't teach them. It's basically reproduction ed, right? They don't teach you anything. They don't. Kids have to figure this all out on their own, and then they make it like it's like this big spectacle of an event. Same with Black History, right? And this and that, and it makes you feel segregated, right? And you're this little. You're not normal. You're not right. You're not part of mainstream society still because it's being spectacleized, right?
Right.
Once a year.
Okay. Do you feel like you don't have the same rights as a heterosexual person? Or you saw, you conquered already? Because like you said, 14 is when the rights came up. 21. Do you feel like you're still being shafted or treated any kind of way besides like individuality, like between people, but like establishments? Do you feel like you're being shunned or treated differently from an establishment you've been in?
As a white gay man in Canada, I feel like I have all the same rights and protections as everyone else, right? Like I said before, marriage was the big thing in my lifetime, and that was already conquered before I was an adult. Right. If I lived in America, they didn't get gay marriage till 2015. I was 26 then. So I feel like it would have been more of a fight and struggle for me living there, right? I think where I feel in any kind of way where I don't would be like if I want to say travel to a certain country, I have a limitation on that, right? Because there's countries where it's still illegal. They have death penalties. My friends went to Morocco there a few years ago, and they were told they have to pretend they're sisters, right? They couldn't pretend they were a couple or they could be arrested.
Okay.
The whole trip. So I feel that's where I would feel I still don't. But living here, I personally don't as a white man and as a white gay man. And I feel like within the gay community, they almost use white gay men as like the poster children for it. Because it's like the desired gay person almost. Like when you see ads for stuff, it's always a very well muscular toned, good looking white guy. Right?
Right.
And it's just got that whole thing attached to it that this is the gay world. This is what's attractive. This is what's good. So I this is the people who have all the know-how, the rights, whatever you want to call it in the community, right? So I feel that I personally don't have any problems in that sense, I guess.
It's
You're not
funny
traveling to Morocco.
it's funny that you
right?
mentioned
It's just really with travel where I feel a bit more like I don't have my full rights with things.
It's funny that you mentioned the whole poster child thing and how and we know Canada has been more accepted to it for a long time. Just it goes back to it reminds me back to a time when me and Marv took a trip out to Montreal. I was doing a showcase for this company that I work for. It was an audio visual presentation type deal. So I was like, Marv never been to Montreal at the time.
No.
So I was like,
my first time.
So I was like, yo, Marv.
You had fun down on St. Catherine Street, didn't you?
He'll explain this.
I'm like, come for the road trip, right? So he's like, all right, cool. So we went and it's like, we got there, got settled into the hotel and so forth like that. It was like, let's walk around and so forth. So at the time, what was happening? there was a jazz festival happening, and another ex-coworker of mine, he was there for the jazz festival. I think he was also there for the audio conference, but he was trying to tell us where exactly where the jazz festival was, but not knowing where Montreal was, he was like, you know what? it's just not. It's just.
I
not
didn't know
gonna
the
happen.
streets were called Rue.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He had no clue.
Rue this,
I grew up
Rue
in
that.
America. Right, I grew up in America, so I'm like Rue. I'm like I'm used to Spanish,
Yeah.
but not the French. So I'm looking like, man, I'm lost, man. If you can't find it, you've been in Canada longer than me.
Yeah,
I don't know what to fucking tell you.
So we said, you know what? Let's go walk around, just look for some stuff to eat. So we're walking around and shit, and we're chilling, and we're noticing like, damn, there's a lot of couples walking around together that are not man and woman, or woman and man. But I see woman and woman. I see man and man. But we're still not paying any attention to what's going on.
We're just two pro humans
We're
going
two
about life,
humans just
not knowing that
walking.
we're fucking together. They're like, oh, look at the cute gay couple right there.
Daddy and his dog. Living it up on Rue St. Catherine's.
We got to this one point where we looked, and I think the first thing that clued us in was the poster, just like he said,
Yeah.
the poster child. There was the muscular man holding another muscular man,
They're both white.
both white,
Holding him.
holding him.
Cradling him.
Ain't that the same damn thing?
No, but like you could just hold someone, or is he actually like picking him up and cradling him?
No, he was holding.
no, he was holding. He was holding. He was holding them.
It was like you're taking
Okay.
a prom picture and stuff, whatever. Your date's right here, and you're like, it's like one of those.
Yeah.
Wow, fancy. And what were they wearing? Jock straps?
Shirtless.
They were shirtless.
shirtless.
So at this point, me and Marv look at the poster. We look at each other. We look back at the poster. Then we started surveying the area around
Because
us.
we know we're walking straight through the Pride Festival, the Pride Parade. So they're like, yo, wait,
And then
what?
it-
There was the Pride Parade going on.
I think on the Pride Festival, like the parade probably finished.
Yeah, the
Oh,
parade
it was
must have
just
been
Pride
finished.
weekend.
It was Pride weekend.
It was
Right,
in
right,
August.
right.
Yeah,
Right,
it was in
right,
August.
right.
It was in August. That's what I'm like.
Mid-August, yeah.
Me and August and there, I'm like, yeah, no, you limit, play within it. I'm not gonna go to Montreal in any time August because I'm like, I don't want to interrupt anybody's thing. 'Cause I knew what was going on.
And at that point is when we clued in. And then we just realized, hey, we weren't getting bothered because to everybody else, we were a couple.
We were a couple.
You know, when they saw you looking at that poster in that moment, someone's probably sitting on a patio and they looked over and they said, oh, these two are about to make out any minute. And then when they see you kind of get all like wide-eyed and they're like, what's going on here?
They had a fight. They had a fight.
Yeah, they're like, wow, it was a kind of like
had a
telepathic fight kind of going on.
No, we had a fight.
Man,
because
we
the
were
poster
walking
reminded me
through
of-
we were walking through the mist sprinkles.
Yeah,
Hey,
it was
this is
hot.
nice.
It was hot
This
as
is
shit.
nice.
And they had like a little mist sprinkle thing. Someone walking through like, I need some hot stuff, baby. Not knowing what's going on. I'm like, yo, the tunes is hitting. I'm like, Donna Summer's playing. We both like music. Didn't know.
Pride is the best party you'll ever go to, my friend. Okay,
There-
and you did.
I ain't gonna lie.
Pride in Montreal
I ain't gonna
is
lie. I
very
didn't
fun.
know what was going on, but when in Rome.
Wait, when in Rome.
Whatever, exactly. Just get into it.
I was like, okay, this is noted. But it was a different type of experience because when you were saying the whole thing, he's right. I've never seen any imagery of like black folks and stuff, or even Native or Asian.
Yeah.
Every now and then you might get a Latino, but then who's to say and stuff for that? Because there's Latinos with blonde hair, blue eyes.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
who's to say that person is not Latino? Right. So when you were saying that, I was gonna ask you like, do you feel like, let's say, especially within the village, when you're in the village, do you see like more diverse advertisements now than when you first moved in? Really?
No. And I actually watched this documentary recently called Is the Village Dying? And it was basically saying how the village has shrunk. A lot of establishments have closed. We've lost a lot of bars, you know. And they're saying because a lot of younger gay people are now exploring
Integrated.
outside the village and they've been integrated into society and they want to, and people of different like races just don't feel, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Like included, right? They don't see themselves on ads and posters. It's very white male oriented, the village, and it still is.
Right.
So they call it Queer West now. And it's a part of Queen Street down in Parkdale. And there are a couple little gay bars there. Mojo Lounge used to be out there. The Hen House. I think the Beaver's still there. Down on Queen Street East in Leslieville, they have Whala Bar.
Asking for a friend. Is the Beaver like a lesbian establishment?
Everyone.
Oh, okay.
Queer establishment.
Okay.
Rico's is on College Street. That's an everyone club. It's more Latin based, but it's a lot of fun. So I mean,
back in the day when we used to go clubbing downtown, there's this club called Focus. Right beside Focus, there's this other place. I think it was called either Charles or Charlie's.
Where was this?
Right, I want to say right across from St. George subway station.
Oh, so it was like a college bar.
Yeah, but this was like a big establishment.
Oh.
But it was well known to be like a gay and lesbian bar. And Focus was, like I said, we used to go to Focus. Focus was right beside it. And it's like,
what years was this?
Man, this is
Yo, your daddy over there is not a young boy.
I'm
so
like thinking, this is before my time.
I want to say probably 98?
I think I was probably eating like rainbow.
I was 9 years old in 98. I was playing with
Like
sticks
98
and rocks, Like, I had no concern what the gay village was.
But like that establishment was on St. George.
Okay.
Like right St. George and Young.
Okay.
Right at the corner.
St. George and Young run the same way. I'm confused. Do you mean Bloor?
St. Patrick.
No, was it St. Patrick? I remember getting off at St. George Station.
Okay. And that's off Bloor.
So that would have been
So it's
off
probably
Bloor.
Bloor
Yeah,
then. And
same
St. George.
Bloor.
Well, you
Bloor,
taught
St.
me
George.
some history I
Bloor,
didn't
St.
know.
George.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How was the bar that night?
I don't know, because I was at Focus.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were just focused.
But I'll tell you one thing. One night, a bunch of me and a bunch of friends of mine, we went downtown. So it's like I think we got off at I don't know if we got off at the same station and then decided to walk down Young, because back in the day it was just fun to just walk down the street of Young
Right.
Street and just see what
Still
all was
is.
going on.
Still
It's
is.
always something.
Yeah.
Yo. One day we were walking. It was a group of us. Some of us were, I want to say like 17. The others were close, like maybe 19, 20. But we all came from the same block, so we decided to go downtown. We were walking, and a couple of the older dudes seen these strippers, and they were crossing. They were like running across the street, so they started yelling, "Yo, hey baby, hey baby, hey baby!" One of them looked back and say, "I probably got bigger balls than you." He said,
That, I love that. And he did.
Judging by the deep baritone voice, I would probably say, yeah, he did.
Yeah. I love that.
Let me ask you one more question for the masses. What type of ridicule did you receive for your sexuality, and what could you recommend to the people who are being ridiculed as young alphabet soup members?
I received lots, and like I was saying before, I received it. I didn't even understand what gay was. I didn't know I was just a different little boy, right? Like I didn't enjoy sport. I didn't want to like sport, and I didn't like playing with cars. I didn't want to like take gym class, like all that. I like art. I like to listen to dance around, listen to music, things like that. So I just didn't fit into those norms, and I used to get called faggot, gay, which being called gay when you're a kid is like the worst thing you could be called.
Yeah.
Because kids just want to fit in, right?
Right.
And gay has got such a negative context around it that people put on it.
Yeah.
So children don't want to be that, right? They don't want to be that thing that isn't right, that isn't normal, that isn't the popular kid, right?
Right.
So, I would get called gay, fag, people would. I remember one time these guys told me to ask me, they said, check your nails. How do you check your nails? And they wanted me to go like this. They wanted me to go like this because they said gay guys look at their nails like this, but guys will look at their nails like this. And I was like, what? And then I'm just getting ridiculed for how I checked my nails, you know?
Shit.
So it was just a whole lot of stupid shit. And I'm getting told all this before I even understand what it is. And that just gives it such a negative way of looking at it for a kid.
Right.
So, and then, you know, and then you start to come into yourself and you start to understand these things. And then you're like, yeah, but what's the problem with it? Why was it such a problem, you know? And then it's all too of how kids are raised and what they're told and what they're taught and how they live their lives, right? So and how they go about it. So and then kids today, I mean, you're going to get made fun of. Any kid is, right? Everyone's got haters out there, no matter who you are, what you do, what you look like.
Yeah.
Facts.
You're always going to have a hater.
Facts.
And I spent so much time and energy when I was young
worrying about the haters
and hating these people back and trying to understand why. And it took me so long to realize, like, who cares? There's always going to be people that don't like us. People don't like you. People don't like you.
Facts.
Like, no matter what I do, there's always going to be a homophobe somewhere. Just like there will always be a racist somewhere, right?
Yeah.
There's always going to be someone like that.
Yeah.
And I can't change who I am just as much as you can't change that you're black, right? I can't change that I'm gay. It's who I am.
Yeah.
So, and there's a great Taylor Swift song called You Need to Calm Down. And in the song, she has a lyric where it goes, you need to control your urges to scream about all the people you hate because throwing shade never made anybody less gay. And in the music video, there's a bunch of gay people, I guess, and they're like laying out on sun chairs, like tanning, living their best lives. And then there's like a mob of people with signs like shouting slurs at them and everything. And they're just there living their lives. It's like, I don't got time. If that's how you want to waste your time,
Right.
you knock yourself out. We all have freedom of speech. It's a two-way street. Enjoy, but I'm going to be over here living my best life.
That's what you should be doing.
And that's what
you
kids,
gotta
I
do.
think, I know it's hard as a kid, but that's what they got to realize when you're young. Just don't give them your time and your energy. Put that into something more productive to better yourself.
Well fucking said. Bravo.
I agree.
Clap to that.
I would agree.
Thank you.
Well played. I'm not mad at that. Let's get to the question of the week. You guys ready?
Week.
Oh, boy.
Have you ever lied for a friend to get them out of serious trouble before?
Yes.
Let's hear it.
I can't tell you on the truth because this friend would probably.
So you don't have a friend? Like asking for a friend?
Come on, Dad.
Martin?
We just want to know.
I'm asking for Martin.
Okay, first of all, Martin is a real person, okay?
Is Martin a real
Martin's
person?
a real person. He just don't like cameras.
Yeah, he doesn't like cameras.
He's like cameras. He explores Idora.
Well, yeah. I had told a certain friend's parent that he actually did spend a night over our house. Mom said it was okay. And he was out slinging on the streets.
Okay.
So probably not something that he wanted his mom to know. I guess that's why he came up with the lie to begin with. And
You had to vouch for him?
I had to vouch for him. I didn't say that, he did because, the mom called, angry and stuff like that.
And you answered?
Well, I couldn't make my mom answer.
I was about to say, she's
that
like,
would throw the vouch out the window.
Here!
That would throw the vouch out the window. So yeah.
Okay. What about you?
I have. I had a friend, he basically cheated on his boyfriend. And he told me that I was his alibi when his boyfriend comes asking.
Yeah.
And I said, because I like you, I'm going to do this for you. But everyone gets their one. So this is your one.
This is his one.
Because I won't be twisted all up in this because I was friends of his boyfriends too. And I was like, I really don't want to get all integrated in this one. He does find out because this seems like you're doing this in a very sloppy manner. But you get your one. This is it.
I didn't use my
Don't
one
come
with you
asking
yet.
again.
I didn't use my one with you yet. So I still have one.
That's right, because you didn't jack off my bed that time.
Fucking God. Listen to this shit.
Okay, let me tell y'all.
Oh
let
my
me
God.
tell
Let's
y'all.
hear it. Let's hear it.
So I am famous for my mic drop moments, I guess you could say. I love to just say something and leave. Just something really off-putting.
Yeah.
So one time Marv came over to visit me and he was like, "Oh, I'm hungry." I said, "Okay, I'm gonna go and get some food."
Right.
For us, I said, just like stay here, watch my cat. I'll be back. So he's like, "Okay." So I fully left, locked the door.
The door was locked.
Whatever.
No,
I unlocked that door, cracked it enough that my head could get in. And I said, "Don't jerk off in my bed."
Who
Slammed
the
the
fuck
door.
says shit like
All
that?
I hear is him. Exactly that. What the fuck is that? Who the fuck? And he's just like, what? So when I came back with the food, he goes,
Right.
Yeah.
would I do that?
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
you know, when you were like a teenager jerking off all the time? He's like, yeah. I'm like, and you know, you just get bored of one place. You want to change the scenery. He goes, no, you did that? I'm like, didn't everybody do that?
Won't your anxiety fuck with you? You're used to knowing their setup of like, in case if you having a little jerk off mission, how your room is, how long it takes somebody to open the door, move and everything. You're already pre-game warned. So if you're about to get caught, whatever, you can't
Right.
just shut everything and revert like you wasn't doing shit.
Yeah.
Now you're in a different setting now. You have to master the calculus of this fucking room, area, all the above, and now learn some new shit. Are you still gonna be able to maintain an erection with all that shit?
Maybe Luke just like the thrill of getting caught.
You know,
You know what?
you
that
never
answers
know.
a lot.
I just wanted
It was
a
a
change of
fetish.
scenery, and from what I was thinking was, where's the first place someone's gonna go? Oh, someone's bed because it's comfortable.
Jesus.
So I just wanted to make sure.
I was like, yo, when you come to my spot, do you jerk off in my bed? Like, I don't know now. Like, at least
Maybe.
you see what I'm saying? That's that shit.
I never jerked off in anybody's bed, but I have wiped my dick in somebody's curtains.
I did it to the guest house.
Your flaccid dick.
Yeah, like when you're cleaning.
This was after I looked around and there was
Nothing to wipe with.
nothing to wipe with. So I went over to the
Curtain.
curtains.
Yeah.
That is fucking fabulous. See, so what I said to him is not so far off. Okay, I could have texted him been like, "Hey, stuck in traffic on the way back. I'm going to be another hour," and he's there bored. He's like, "Okay, like, but this couch isn't too comfy. Where's the next most comfortable place?" He's got a bed.
Yo. The other man's like,
So yes, you
Okay.
still have your one because you never jacked off in my bed that time.
You got your one, Marv. You
bless
got
your
one.
heart.
You
Bless
got your
your
one.
heart. I'm going to use it wisely.
You
I'm going
can
to use it wisely.
because you didn't screw up that time.
With your one freedom comes great power.
You use common quotations, C-U-M.
See you Monday.
See you Monday.
See you one day.
Me, I had the life of a friend too. He was doing his ones and twos on his girly and everything like that, but I got fully dragged into it without any kind of warning, and I had to vouch on spot. So it's kind of fucked up where I'm in my bed, minding my goddamn business.
There was no pre-telling to you.
No
like,
pre-
oh, by the way,
No,
in
no,
5
yeah.
minutes, this is going to happen.
No.
That's
See, and
fucked
that
up.
and there, because you got to really be thinking quick on your feet.
But
You are a good person.
yeah. So so it threw me off. So I'm sleeping. My phone's ringing. I was like, why is she calling me? Whatever, right? So I was like, this time of night, like the fuck? I don't want no problems. But I'm like, what if he might be in trouble? She called. She's like, hey, where is he? Is he there? Stuff, whatever. At the same time I answered, he's calling the other line. So I'm like, I don't know. I think he's in the living room sleep. So I was like, hold on. And I clicked over.
Yeah.
My guy's driving. He's on his way going home. He's like, yeah, I told my girl I was going to be at your house. So I was like, yeah, she's on the other line. He's like, all right, here's what's going to happen. You just got to tell her I'm in your washroom or some shit like that. So he's like, hang up on both of us and then call her back and say you're in the washroom and I'll be on the phone on mute and then act like you're knocking on something. I'm in my fucking bed. So I have to reach over now, knock on the damn wall behind me. So I'm talking to her and they start arguing. She's like, where are you? He's like, I was here at Marv's house. We were playing video games. I got drunk. He fell asleep and I fell asleep. She's like, aren't you coming home? He's like, I'm leaving now. She's like, all right, bye. Hung up. Don't you ever fucking do that shit to me again.
You are a great friend. I would never do all that. I'd be like, oh, no. You don't get one this time.
I was a young friend. I was probably semi yes man then.
Yeah.
That shit ain't flying
It's
right
not from-
now.
not-
Yo, don't get me caught up in your shit.
anymore.
I don't need that extra anxiety.
That's a friend. That's a ride or die right there to do that.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
would be
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Quick thinking on your feet.
I'm in bed. I'm tired.
Yo, I was like 2:00 in the fucking. What the fuck is going on? I'm like, you know what? It's all said and done. They're still together to this day. Mission complete.
Okay.
I just looked at him.
You saved that relationship.
I looked at him and stuff like,
You are the glue for them. If they ever lose they're nothing.
I hope you're listening, fucker. I hope you're
you
listening.
better hope they're not listening.
Listen to your daddy.
You better
Daddy
hope
knows
they're not
best.
listening.
Disregard Marv's comments. I do apologize. Yo. All right. Let's get to the Ask the Sons for the week, man. So as guests, tradition, guests get first crack at Ask the Sons.
First crack.
Oh, okay.
Well, you don't get the first crack.
No. He's older, so you'll get his crack. He'll get his crack.
You don't get the first crack, but you get the first Ask the Sons.
All right. Okay. Question time. Well, gentlemen,
All right,
my
right.
twunk and my daddy.
All right.
As I know from heterosexual sex, there's usually always the man is giving it and the woman is taking it. I mean, there are some straight men who like it up the ass, but that's a rare commodity from what I know. So the power dynamic is always you're the one with that kind of giving power and she's the one with that taking power.
Right.
So, would you ever have the woman ride you and let her pull out from behind her back a little floppy dildo and just give you a big old slap across the face? And when I say one slap, I mean like one each side. And then after that, she can throw that dildo out. You know, it kind of gave that whole power shift for a minute, you know, just like, and it could be thrown. You don't have to look at it again.
This guy.
Would you?
I'm gonna have to say no to the slap across the face.
Why not?
Because it's gonna be very questionable to me at that point. I've never seen you with a dildo before in your entire life.
Yeah, you come out
Where
like
the hell
Batman
did that
with your
come
fucking
from?
utility belt.
She can
to
have
start
her
slapping.
secrets too.
Wait.
Not after 10 years of marriage.
You said she's writing.
Well, that would be the best way. It
so
would
that's what I'm saying.
happen.
If
Did you
she's
rather be
right-
missionary?
Hold on. If she's riding, right? And she comes from behind, I'm assuming that dildo was in her ass. So now I got like,
Okay,
so,
let's
you
just say
got-
she had a little like pouch.
Okay, a
thing on
utility
the
belt,
back.
like some Batman shit.
utility
The bat-
belt.
The
Okay.
bat belt.
So
The
you
bat-
have
the
you
bat
have
belt.
you
The
have
back
some
belt?
awareness that it's there. You know it's going to happen. You really wouldn't. You'd have a problem with that one slap.
What's the reward for me? Like, where do I get the reward? Like, where?
There's no
Satisfying
reward.
her.
There is no reward for you. You're being dominated.
no,
Yeah.
if it's satisfying her,
You're letting her feel what you usually feel.
why I just can't give her head and she just called me like, yeah, eat
She's
that
not
pussy.
sticking
Like,
it
what?
in
I
any
understand.
of your holes. Just giving you a slap. One and
there's
two.
no reward, man.
And that dildo can go in the trash. No one needs to know about it.
But like
That be
this.
your own little sexual secret. You would never let her just that one little slap.
I need a reward for it. There has to be but like this. If I'm gonna take a
chocolate bar.
no, if I'm gonna take a dildo slap in my face and everything,
Yeah.
she has to say, me and my two other friends wanna fuck you, but we have to dildo slap you. I'd be like, you know what, cheek to cheek, was how we doing this.
So you want a menage a trois
want
for
a
that
menage a
slap?
trois for that
Oh
shit.
my. Okay. So yours comes with the price.
You're goddamn right.
Okay. And daddy over here just wouldn't do it at all.
I'm just not getting any left or right.
What about north and south then?
Yeah, that's
Why
even
consider-
worse because it's a little slow on your lip. You revving an engine? Yo.
I know where it's been. It might pass my nose. I might catch a whiff.
Whiff of it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, let's hope it hasn't been used.
Okay.
Well, it's good to know where you stand on this.
Thank you.
Very good to know.
Thank you.
Listen,
we welcome
listen,
all questions from
listen.
Ask the Sons.
When we're done here, don't you be having any conversations with my wife, okay?
Oh.
Be like, get the jelly one. He was talking
I
about the
was just
jelly
gonna
one.
say those lime green ones. They flop nice. They give a good sound.
And they give a better motor both north and south.
Really realistic looking too, veins and everything.
Shit. Next question comes from KitKat88. What is the pettiest reason you've rejected someone? Hear from you.
Oh, when I was very young, it's because his penis was too ugly.
Define ugly now.
Well, he had nothing wrong with gingers. I'm putting that out there. But he was a ginger, and I remember when I looked at it with the red bush and there were freckles on it all over, and I was like, oh.
Freckle dick.
Yeah, no.
I
I
didn't know
told
this-
him that I was having a stomach ache that day and I needed to go home, and I was young and stupid, okay?
You don't want none of this runs.
No. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
I would have brought lube. I didn't need the shit for the lube. Shit, freckles. What about you, Smooth?
This one girl liked me, but she had like this gap between her teeth, and it was like front and center. It's not even like it was off to the side or anything like that. So anytime she talked, all I could see was
Focus
just
the gap?
The gap, yeah. And
Damn.
it just wasn't happening. She was cute though.
There was this cute girl at the time and stuff. I think I was in middle school. She was gorgeous. I never knew her name for the longest, but I
Yeah.
was just like, I like that girl, right? So then somebody said, oh, you want me to put you on? I'm like, sure, why not? They're like, Marv. So I'm like, what's up? No, they call her. She had the same name as my mom. I'm like, nope. Cannot happen.
Yeah.
Cannot happen.
That one.
I'm like, your name is Marv. She's like, yeah, my name is Marva. I'm like, we're done. It's a wrap. Never mind. I just want to ask you, can I borrow your pencil? Because I'm like, he's like, what? You ain't like the girl? Marv likes you. Oh, your name is Marv? I'm like, yeah. She's like, they call you Marv too? I'm like, yeah. She looked at me, she's like, And she's like, but you're Marvin. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
So we're all petty bitches, basically.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
I can't be smashing no girl and then I'm calling out my mother's name, man. I need therapy.
Especially if she answers you back, yes, honey.
You're fucked. See, now I'm going to therapy regardless now. Yo. All right, last question comes from Yanigan. Or Yanigan. What is a scam most people don't realize it's a scam? Let's go first.
I think lotto.
Lotto. Why you say lotto?
Because
Because it's like the chances of winning?
the chances of winning, and they always sell you on that dream portion, and everybody keeps dreaming.
Oh, yeah, the government's idiot tax.
The government's idiot tax. What about you?
I'd have to say GoFundMe's.
Yeah.
A lot of those.
GoFundMe's, yeah, they're
A lot of those
Trump.
that are just, oh, yeah.
Because even like there was a girl, I guess she was from Atlanta. No, she was from like I get New York or somewhere like that, and she went to Atlanta to go party, and she needed money for a flight and get back, and she made a GoFundMe, and she got the money, and I was like, "Are you guys fucking stupid? How did she get there in the first fucking place?"
She can call mommy and daddy to wire me some money.
And a GoFundMe, and then she met her $1,200 goal. So I was like, "Yeah, that's a fucking scam."
I mean, some of them are legit, of course, but there's a lot
how do you
of
know?
scams out there.
How do you know?
Exactly.
No one's gonna
We
know.
don't.
How do you know? No one's gonna
This
know.
is true. This is true. You may never know.
Market that shit.
All right, man. Yo, we really do appreciate you for coming through today.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime.
It was a lot of fun.
Anytime.
Thank you, Luke.
We're gonna head off for the say the Suns for the week. So say the Suns for the week. Oh, this episode is also brought to you by Aqua. King Aqua. Alkaline water.
Good for you. Good for you. Tell the difference between regular water and alkaline water, Marv.
Alkaline water is more to a purified level where it helps the body work for you than against. A lot of the waters we drink today, it has a lot of fucking sodium in it.
Right.
So I don't want to call out that company. They might cut us a check one day. But I mean, there's some companies out here pump a lot of sodium in it so it keeps you drinking the water. And when you feel thirsty again after you're drinking, that's it. I want to say I had a few gulps of this and stuff, whatever, and I've been quite parched. I mean, I was parched before.
Yeah.
Now I'm refreshed after, and I still got my bottle and stuff to go to. So salute to King Aqua
Thank
for
you.
alkaline water.
Thank you.
So yeah, the So Say the Sons this week. Stop treating confidence like it's a nice to have instead of a must have. So say the
So
Sons.
says the Sons.
I feel like us as people, like we spoke about confidence earlier and everything.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful one.
Thank you. I feel like a lot of people, they move kind of different. Like they just forget that confidence is not of the utmost. Because every time I hear people and stuff when they describe like ideal mate or hero and everything like that, or even villain, whoever they want to praise, it's the confidence aspect that they like about that person.
Right.
What kind of gets them there.
Yeah.
And then everything else after that will kind of work well. Right?
You know, it's funny because you can almost see the contrast, but the similarity between confidence and fear. Whereas people can smell fear.
And people can see fucking confidence a mile away.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Well, when you smell me, you smell Chanel.
Number 5? Not number 5?
Extreme.
Extreme.
Extreme. Oh.
Nothing basic over here besides my petty behavior.
That's true talk from a
A twonk. That's right. Our twonk. Our resident twonk.
so says daddy.
So
So says daddy.
hey, I see you. Yo, once again, man, thank you for everybody listening to the Podical Sons. We do thank our guests again. Tell people where to find you, man.
Instagram handle LJ Gallo, which is GALLO.
All right.
All right.
Once again, thank you for listening to the Podical Sons. Remember, the difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits. Peace and love. Be safe. Happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
Love is love.
And
Love is love.
and also by the time you finished listening to this, you should probably go check out the YouTube for that daddy battle. Yeah.
That Marv won.
Yeah.
Go watch the daddy battle.
Marv says he wants, but we'll see.
Peace and love, everybody.
Peace and love. Happy Pride.
The Podical Sons with not your average Joseph and Sofa King Marvelous.